Nothing warms our heart or our home as well as our fur babies. And today we have special tribute for International Cat Day. Keep watching. Hi, it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe, and happy International Cat Day. And today we're going to give special tribute to our wonderful fur babies that just fill our lives with love. All of the patterns that we show you today will be out of one of our 9 different books or one of our individual patterns. So let's get started with the very first quilt, and this one is called Stellar. Now Stellar I designed for the new book, Quilts on the Double, that I just gave you a little sneak peek of there. And it's also using my fabric line from QT Fabrics. And if you've ever made one of my quilts, you know we put our focus fabric in the number 1 spot. We use the lightest of the 2 remaining for the number 2, and then the number 3 is the darkest of the remaining. Let's put that up here. It's a great formula that is so easy to follow. And one of my fun stories about the next kitty that I'm going to tell you about, we have 2 kitties, and I designed this pattern, and probably 2 weeks later I got my brand new kitty, and I kept trying to think about what her name was, and all I could think of was Stellar. And so I finally decided that that was maybe some kind of an accent for Stella. So she got the name Stella. And she has warmed my heart like no other kitten that I have ever had. And from the beginning, she loved our second cat, Charlie. And so Charlie, being a 9-year-old cat, did not get quite as excited about her being in the house as she was about him being in the house. The cool thing is they're getting to be pretty good friends now. We've had her for about 4 or 5 months. So let's look at the fabric for this one and then tell you a little bit more about Charlie. Okay, this is our number 1 fabric. Number 1 fabric goes in the focus spot, which is the number 1 fabric. It's always the biggest part of the quilt, so that when you look at the quilt, you'll actually see the focus fabric first. That's the way I utilize focus fabric, because I want you to see it first. Then you have 2 remaining. You have your light and your dark. Your light is your backdrop to really make the different designs pop on the surface. And then the number 3 fabric is your accent colors in your quilt top, your borders a lot of times. So it's really easy to make these patterns because of that formula. Now this one is 8021728. Tangerine Dreams is the name of the quilt kit. Stellar is the name of the pattern, and it's from the book Quilts on the Double. Now remember, you do get a free pattern with each quilt kit that you purchase, and because Stellar is only available in Quilts on the Double, you can take an alternate. We suggest Heartland. Now the quilt that I picked for Charlie, with his approval, of course, is the County Fair quilt, and it's using the Pooh Bear fabric. Now we're out of this total combination, but we still had some of the Pooh Bear, so I put it together with 2 other colors. County Fair is great because it has 3 different block designs all put together, lots of movement in here. But the quilt has a lot of movement, but Charlie does not have a lot of movement. The reason I picked this is because Charlie is my Eeyore cat. He is very plodding and very slow. Stella is very fast and all over the place. But Charlie has the sweetest disposition, and he is just a big baby. He actually is a Maine Coon that for some reason wandered into our lives. We live out in the country, and we are just gifted with kitties periodically, and he was one of them 9 years ago. So he's living with us now, and he's getting used to his little sister Stella, and we're happy that the 2 of them are with us. Now this one has the Pooh Bear fabric, and here's the Eeyore. You can see his little face here. It's just kind of, if you look at Charlie, you'll see why I say he's my Eeyore kitty. And that's your number 1 fabric. And then you have your number 2. This is compared to the number 3 fabric. That's your background here. And then your number 3 fabric is here. Now I do want to point out with this particular fabric, and in the last one that I showed you, this is the from the Enchanted Garden line, and this particular part of the line has love, joy, and peace, and that's what my kitties bring to me. Now here is your number. It's 8021-821. One Happy Place. County Fair is the name of the pattern, but because we have that only in the book Easy Peasy, we are suggesting Pinwheel +1. Now up next, we're going to chat with Fran Morgan, and Fran is going to talk about my grand cat, Ollie. Fran, thank you so much for joining us. I know everyone out there in Quiltland knows who Fran is. This is my daughter, and we are so excited because she just moved back from San Antonio, and she brought my grand cat, Ollie.
Oh, and he's so happy to be here.
Is he really?
He is. He's done really, really well in his new home.
Well, that is great. Well, I would like for you to share why you picked this quilt and tell us some stories about Ollie. So tell us some stories first. What's your favorite story about Ollie?
Oh my goodness, what is the favorite story about Ollie? Well, Ollie is a pretty laid-back kitty. He didn't really go outside much, but the few times that he did, he managed to quickly find a hole in a tree, climbed up on the roof, and proceeded to camp out there, waiting for something to come out of that hole.
I remember that when I was down visiting you one time, and Fran said, come look, and he's on the roof of the next door neighbors. Way up in the tree is a hole, and he's just looking at that hole. Well, I hope he was never successful.
No.
Oh, good.
Just a watcher, just a bird watcher.
Oh, okay. Well, that ties right into what you've brought us today.
Yes.
So tell us what you're doing.
So
Go over here.
I chose this Lickity split pattern, and mainly because, well, it's really fast, and it has the bird fabric all over it, which I thought would be perfect for Ollie, and whenever I showed it to Ollie, he fell in love. So it was the perfect quilt for him. It has all of these great birds, and it goes together so super fast. So we can put that up on the table.
So have you experienced many birds at your new house yet?
No, but we've had a lot of rain, so I think some of that has to do with the fact that it's been raining, and so we haven't yet, but he's been watching.
Well, he does have a new friend, I think.
I think he does too. So we have a neighborhood kitty that's come over to visit.
And he looks in the window, and Ollie looks out the window.
Yes. So Lickety Split, let's look at this kit here. And I love how this fabric goes together, because we have our focus fabric, which is the gray with all the birds on it, and I love that they're labeled too, because every time my husband and I watch Birds with Ollie, of course we say, what bird is that? That's pretty. What is that one? So this one's got all the names on it. It's perfect.
There you go.
So our focus is the gray, and it is in one of the blocks here, as you can see. Our number 2 fabric, which of course is the lightest fabric of the 2 remaining, is also a bird. It coordinates, but it's in the white. That goes in the alternate block. And then the number 3 fabric is this perfect dark, kind of a charcoal gray with all the flowers. It's the border and the sashing on the quilt. So it's absolutely perfect. And I'll have to admit that when Ollie saw it, he jumped right on it. It's like, this is my quilt. The kit pattern for this one, or the kit number for this one, 8021440, and it's called Bird Watching, and it is the Lickety Split pattern. It's available in Fast and Fun, the book, or also an individual pattern, as you can see here.
That's great. I love this one. And next, we have Fran's brother and my other 3 grand cats to share with you. And a lot of you know John as well. So thanks for joining us today and sharing about Ollie.
Thank you so much.
Well, John, it's so good to see you.
It's great to be here again. It's feel like it's been forever since I've been on this side of the camera, and now that we got Justin doing all of his magic,
I know.
I get to just sit over there and look at numbers and generate reports all day long.
Well, John used to do all of the videos, and now he is a number cruncher for sure. But let's talk about kitties. I still remember
Our other favorite topic.
Yeah. Quilts and kitties. Okay, and puppies. Puppies are nice.
Puppies are good too.
Yeah. But I remember that Patricia lost her kitty, Rainey.
She did.
And we were all really, really sad about that. Patricia's John's wife. And so she wanted another gray kitty. And I remember us going to different shelters looking for a gray kitty. And then my niece texted me and she said, "Do you know anybody that wants this cat?" She said, "We had another pregnant mama show up." And lo and behold, it was gray. So I imported 2 of John's kitties and my grandkitties.
Exactly.
I imported them from Arkansas to Texas. So why don't you tell us a fun story?
It fits in great because, you know, we're all from Arkansas and moved to Texas as soon as we could get here. And,
Well, that's right.
And now, you know, at 3 months old, you know, Rainey and Max are both, you know, moved to Texas where they are just as happy as can be.
Yeah, and Rainey is a gorgeous kitty, gorgeous.
He really is.
The other ones are cute too.
They are too.
Okay, well, let's talk about the quilt.
Let's talk about this. So this is the first one that we have for my cats and Patricia's cats. This one is called City Lights, and this is a great kit that's kind of that monochrome with all of the grays, the blacks and whites and everything in here. So let's go ahead and put that up on the table and look at this kit. And so I really love this pattern because we do have that big block in here and we've got this nice cascading squares and all of that.
Now, is this one for?
This is the kit that I picked to go with Rainey. So Rainey's this just gorgeous little gray cat, and he is so much fun because he's our talker and he's our little lover boy.
He is.
And I mean, he just walks around the house just talking up a storm. And, you know, if somebody new comes into the house or we come home, he's over there like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you here to see me?" And, you know, he's so funny because of that. And he just loves to check out everything. So, you know, you're going to see these great photos of him in here. So anyway, our #1 fabric is this great gray background with all of these flowers on it. And I just kind of think of Rainey being out there playing in this grassy field with all of these flowers and everything, because, you know, cats love to check out bugs and flowers and just smell everything. A lot like dogs that like doing exactly the same thing. So we've got this beautiful gray in here that is going to go in our focus block in here. And this is a great, nice big, I believe it's a 9-inch block on this one. And then our nice background of, again, some more nice flowers in here with all the little sketchy kind of design on that. And then our #3 is this great little grunge gray and black that's in here. That's going to be out here in our borders and in the stepping stones on this.
That's a gorgeous quilt.
And I think this is a really great one. And this one is called Illustrations, and it is City Lights. Is the pattern that we've got, and we've got that pattern here that's also out of the book Fast and Fun.
Right. Tell us about the other guys.
So our next one that we have up here is called Gallery, and I really love this one. This is such a versatile design. I've heard various stories from customers over the years at various shows. I had one lady that came in, she said she loved this one. She actually used this for a wedding quilt that she did for her daughter, and she went out and had fabric printed of all of the pictures from her wedding, and she had little wedding pictures all in this, kind of like one of those ribbon designs that you can do where you have pictures and everything hanging with ribbons. So let's put that up on the table and look at that one a little bit closer. This is such a fun one, and I picked this one for Max, and Max is our great little black cat. He's kind of our scaredy cat, and it's like if he doesn't know somebody in the room, he disappears. Patricia and I just got back from vacation a few weeks ago, and Hannah and Blake were taking care of the cats while we were gone. They said
I came over too.
and you came over
Yeah.
too, and y'all reported that we never saw Max.
Never saw him.
And that is truly Max. But it's kind of interesting because now that we're back, he's all kind of starting to kind of rub off on Rainey just a little bit. It's like I sit down on the couch and he pops up behind me going like, "Hey, I'm glad you're home. Where have you been? And can I eat some more?" So anyway, let's take a look at this one. So our #1 fabric is going to be this red, and it's this just really fun little geometric on it with circles and little triangles and little almost kind of like dandelions. Which I think cats would just
yeah.
love to play with dandelions. They get out there and then they all float off and everything. And then our #2 is this really cool kind of a tone on tone. It's a nice taupe background with some white printing on top of that, almost kind of like a weave or something along those lines. And then our number 3 fabric is this great stripe. And you've always talked about not fearing the stripes. Well, this is a great example of that because we've got those stripes out here that really draw your interest into that center focus. And this would even be a fun one if maybe you've got an embroidery machine or something like that. You could put little designs on these blocks.
That's true.
And make this totally a custom quilt for whoever you might be making that for.
That's great.
So this one is called Light's Fantastic. It's using the gallery pattern, and it's from our book Modern Views. So that is Rainy's, or not Rainy's, Max's pick.
All right.
And then we can't forget our number 3 cat that we have. So we've got 3 cats at our house, is Ollie. And he is a great orange cat. He's got the classic orange with the M on his forehead and all of that, and he's just really a neat one. He's our oldest cat. And we picked up the ribbons pattern that we used with this because I really think this is a fun design, and cats love to play with ribbons and all of that stuff. So let's put this up on the table and show you this great batik that I've picked out for this one. And I saw this batik on our shelves in there and just saw all of these little flowers and circles, you know, because cats just love playing with little balls. And we've got these little scrunchy balls that make all this noise that are just the world's greatest things for cats. So this is going to be a great one. So we're going to use this red batik with all these little flowery designs on it, these swirls and all of that, in our number 1 position, which is here in this area. And then our number 2 fabric is this really fun, I mean, what cat wouldn't love butterflies?
That's so true.
And this is just a really fun butterfly fabric, and that's going to go in here in our background so that this ribbon really pops off of that. And then our number 3 is a matcher to our number 1 fabric in this dark blue that's going to be in this area that's really going to give you a lot of nice contrast in this one.
I like it.
So this is a really, and of course I'm just a big fan of batiks. I love batiks, and I think this is going to be a great one. So this one is called Kitty Dreams, and it is 8021-822, and we're using the ribbons pattern from the Quilts on the Double book, and then we of course have the Brick Streets is our alternate pattern. I think this was also a really neat one for these 3 batiks that are going to look really nice.
You'd actually have your 2 blocks out of these, and your butterflies would be in the background. It'd be great.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for telling us about my fur baby grandchildren.
Your grandcats.
Right. And next we have Natalie, who's going to tell us about Toby, Ender, and Jonas. Natalie, it's good to see you on this side.
Yes, good to see me too.
Yeah. Okay, if you don't know this little secret about Natalie, she's the one that holds up the quilts. And every once in a while, you might get a flash of Natalie while she's putting the quilts up here on the table. So just remember, next time you see those fingers holding up the quilts, those are Natalie's fingers. You want to show them? No.
Oh no. It might be too dirty.
Okay, well, Natalie and her household have 3 cats.
Yes, we do. We have
Yes.
3 lovely cats.
We are truly the crazy cat people in this company, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah. We do
And
have
that's
a,
fun.
Yeah, we do have a few with dogs, but
Yes.
we truly have a lot of cat lovers. Okay, so tell us about the first quilt that you got picked out.
Yes. So the first one we have picked out is for Toby. We chose the pattern So Quick for Toby. It's a really simple, really quick quilt that you can get done with a simple block and a simple like 4-patch. So let's put that up on the table, and I'll talk more about little old Toby.
Okay.
He is our orange cat. Every morning he is the first to wake me up in the morning with either a little pap, or he'll go to the blinds and give it a bap and make sure that I am up. And
So you never have to set an alarm.
really, I don't. No, I do not. Toby will definitely get me up. And he loves food. He loves turkey, cheese. He'll eat a banana with me. I'll peel a banana and we'll go back and forth eating it with each other. Because he loves it. I don't know why.
I
but
tell you, we're crazy cat people.
Yes, we are. So that's why I picked out this fabric for Toby. It's got all this food, and it's a lovely picnic. And it says lazy days by the river. That is Toby to a T. He is a lazy, food-driven cat.
Okay.
So this is our
Always in a food coma.
yes, always in a food coma, unless he's just wanting food, and then he'll actually get up and move around.
Yeah.
So that's our number 1. Our number 2 is his lovely yellow, kind of like the yellow oranginess of his fur. He's a very orangey cat. And that's going to go in the 4-patch and along the border here. And then our number 3 is this great green. That'll make everything pop too. This goes in that 4-patch too and in the big border.
Awesome.
So our information is 8021823. Fancy Feast is the name of the kit. Justin named this. He was very proud of it. And your pattern is So Quick. That is available in quilt favorites or as an individual pattern.
Awesome. Okay, well, what's next?
What's next? All right, this is a pattern that we picked up for Ender, our next little kitty. This is Pretty Please. It's another very simple, very pattern that you can get together very quickly. So you just have your patch, and then you have like your little block here that you like put your number 2, and then you have your number 3 in the middle, and it looks really cute. So let's put that up on the table. And
And who's this one for?
Ender.
Ender. So
Yes.
tell us about Ender.
Ender. Well, Ender and Toby are actually siblings. When we were actually in quarantine, and we were like, we should get cats. And Justin was like, my mom's cat just had kittens. And we were like, great.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing, yeah. So we got Ender and Toby together. She loves birds. She loves birds watching. She loves looking out the window at birds. She has a little bird toy that she has had ever since she was an itty bitty kitten that she carries around with her in her mouth and plays with and has ripped all the stuffing out of. So that's really, really fun for her. So this is the fabric that I picked out. We have these birds that are really fancy. They have little patterns on them and everything. And then we have our number 2 fabric, which is the green, which was actually in the last kit too. So it shows that fabrics can work in different kits and really highlight different parts of different kits. And that's going to go around our number 3 block in here. And then our number 3 fabric is this blue. That's going to go in here and on the big border.
Now I just snapped to something. You said these are these fancy birds, and your last one was Fancy Feast. So now we have these cute little fancy bellies and birds on there. Those are cute.
Yes, it is. The information for this is 8021545. Feathered Friends is the name of the kit, and Pretty Please is your pattern.
Awesome. And who's up next?
Next up is Chonis.
All right. What did you pick for Jonas?
Chonis is going to get Chain Reaction as her pattern. It's a really unique pattern, and it has all these ribbons kind of going around, and it has these really big blocks that look like really big, bright cat eyes, which is definitely what Chonis has. So let's put that up on the table.
Okay. Well, tell us about Jonas. Where did that name come from?
We don't know. Chonis is mainly Blake's cat.
Okay.
And Blake got her when she was in New York. Chonis has, I've never even been to New York, which is like, so Chonis has been to New York, so that's awesome. She's got a very mean face, but she is really very, very loving and very, very nice.
Yes.
So every morning after I feed all the cats, and I feed Chonis a little bit too, and then I'll look down and she'll look at me and mew, and she'll ask for bath water. She
drinks out of the faucet?
She drinks out of the faucet. She will not drink out of a water bowl. She has to have water out of either the sink faucet or the bath faucet. So she's a very particular kitty, but I give it to her every morning anyway because I love her. So for the fabric for Chonis's kit, we have this lovely pink batik, and then we have this lovely white batik, which actually your number 1's going to go in your ribbons that go all around here and in your border. And then your number 2 is actually going to be kind of the main focus in the snowball right here. And then your number 3, the darkest, is going to be kind of sashing and going around your lightest block too. And the reason why we chose especially these colors is Chonis is a very dark kind of dark, gloomy outlook about her, and she looks really mean, like the dark fabric, but really she's really loving and very, very sweet, like the pink fabric. So your information is going to be 8021222. Bright Eyes is the name of the kit, and your pattern is going to be Chain Reaction.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing about that. And next, we're going to talk about our shop cat, Socks, who's been with us since 2008. So she is almost 20 years old,
Oh my goodness.
and she has lots of people around her loving her every day. So next up, Socks. So our next kitty we're talking about is Socks. And Socks came to live with us when my brother-in-law went into assisted living. And that was in 2008 when she was about 5 years old. And she is now closing in on 20 years old. So she's been a wonderful kitty here. We used to have a very small staff, and as we've grown and gotten bigger, now she has all of these people who love her and she loves them, and she's never met a stranger. So if you do ever pop in to see Fabric Cafe, you will find out that Socks wants to be all over you. So this is our quilt that we've chosen for Socks, and this one shows two focus fabrics. We do have this fabric available, but we are going to show you a different one for Socks to fit her personality. So we have our number 1 fabric, our number 2 fabric, our number 3 fabric is the sashing. Let's put that one up there. And some fun stories about Socks is that she is such well, she's another food lover. So if you ever step on the rug as you walk into the break room, she is right there beside you asking if it's time to eat. So she does love her food. And she will make her rounds through the building, and Bob keeps snacks in his office, so she's right there to see him when he comes in. It's just a fun little kitty to stay around. And she's pretty well trained too. We have boxes and baskets all over the office, and she knows that she's not supposed to be on the surface of things or get on any of the fabrics. So with Socks, we picked out this beautiful fabric that has hearts on it because she is such a loving kitty and we love her so much. So we have our focus fabric is the number 1 fabric, and that is going to go in the number 1 spot. The number 2 fabric is the same fabric in a different colorway, and that's going to go in your number 2 spot. So the third one is this great raspberry color, and it's going to be the divider for these other 2 in the sashing. So this particular one is 8021793. Love Field is the name of the kit. It's using the Tic Tac pattern from the book Easy Peasy. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed this today. We've kind of given you a different slant on quilts, and that is picking out a quilt gift for someone's personality. So even though we used kitties to celebrate International Quilt Day, everybody has a specific personality and a quilt that they will love. All of our patterns were taken from one of our books or one of our individual patterns, and our books are only $15.99 each. If you buy 3 kits, any 3 kits from our website, then you can take a book free. Or if you're buying single patterns, kits, you'll be able to take 1 pattern free with every kit you purchase. So be sure to join us again every Tuesday and Thursday. We also have a great subscribe button right down here. And if you'll subscribe and hit the little bell, we'll let you know every time that we put up a new video. If you would like to be on our newsletter, fabriccafe.com, you go over to Fabric Cafe and say, yes, send me the newsletter. We'll send you a reminder not only of the videos, but we'll tell you when we have special deals, contests, and freebies. So it's Donna Robertson. Thanks for joining us.